Well, we have something miraculous today for our daily cancellation. The New York Post reports far-left squad member Representative Cori Bush performed multiple miracles as a religious faith healer, according to her autobiography. Quote, "As I learned how to apply God's word to my life in new ways, I better understood the power that was already residing in me." Bush wrote of her abilities in The Forerunner, a story of pain and perseverance in America. "It was there waiting for me to acknowledge it, to use it. I had the confidence to heal others with God's power." Now, any savvy media consumer who also happens to be Christian may be expecting the story to go a certain direction from here. We've seen this before. The media reports that somebody claims to have miraculous supernatural abilities, but in reality, the person is simply a Christian who spoke about the power of prayer and faith and so on. And they are, making a caricature of it in the way they're reporting it. Is that what's going on here? Did Cori Bush really claim to have miraculous powers? Is that what she really said? Well, yes, it is. Reading on. Bush relayed a story of a toddler she met during a prayer service in St. Louis. The child had a bleed in her brain shortly after she was born, and she couldn't walk. She had never taken a step in her life, Bush recalled. "I carried the child from the prayer room in the back of the church out into the sanctuary. 'Walk,' I said gently to the 3-year-old. 'You will walk.' And this girl took her first step, then another and another. She walked. Her grandmother walked in the sanctuary just in time to see the child take about 24 steps. She screamed. Then she kept screaming," Bush continued. "When she caught her breath, she looked at me in wonder and said, 'Praise God.' She grabbed her granddaughter and walked with her out of the church." There you go. You thought that Cori Bush was just an uber-woke, far-left, useless politician who's wrong about everything all the time. But no. Well, yes, she is that, but also she has supernatural powers. In an interview with PBS, Bush offered some more details about these mystical capabilities. Listen.
You're a pastor.
Yes.
You write about healing through faith. At one point, you came across a woman with, quote, several visible tumors on her torso. Tell me what happened.
So at that time, I, along with a group of friends, we would go out on the street and just meet with people and pray with people and offer them food. And this lady came to us and she had these tumors. She wanted us to feel them. And I just remember I put my hand on her and my hand just began to move. And the lumps that were there were no longer there. And she was so happy and she went on about her day. And I never saw her again.
So you think the tumors disappeared?
I do.
Now, look, I'm a Christian. I believe that it is possible for diseases to be miraculously healed. I believe that such things have happened many times, in fact. But there are 3 big problems here. First, Cori Bush, who calls herself an ordained pastor and apparently in that capacity performed these miraculous healings, is a false teacher. She's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I know that because she is a charlatan in general who pushes an evil agenda. She supports and facilitates the murder and mutilation of children, for one thing. Also, I know this because she's a woman, and women cannot be pastors. Any woman who claims to be a pastor is a false teacher. This is very clear in Scripture. Jesus selected only men to be his apostles. He could have selected women, but he didn't. Don't like it? Don't find it progressive enough? You think Jesus should have done more to smash the patriarchy instead of explicitly upholding it at every turn, which is what he did? Well, too bad. Too bad. So you might wish that it had been set up so that women could be pastors. It wasn't. It just wasn't. So Cori Bush is a false teacher. Every female pastor is a false teacher. God does not give miraculous healing powers to evil charlatans. Second, even among spiritual leaders who are not evil charlatans, this is not how miraculous healings work. You pray to be healed. You submit yourself or the person who's sick to the will of God. And you could certainly, obviously, pray for someone to be healed. Any Christian has done that many times. The healing is done by God if it is done at all, and it may not be done. But what you don't do, what you can't do, is command that a sickness leave a person's body as if the authority rests with you. Like Cori Bush claims that she said to the girl, walk, and she just did. You will walk. That's not how it works, okay? It's how it worked for Jesus, but she isn't Jesus. She's about as far from Jesus as a person can be. You don't put God on the spot and demand that he perform this supernatural act on your timing right then and there. God doesn't do magic tricks. It's not how it works. If it did work that way, like if Cori Bush could really just summon these powers to, for example, heal cancer on the spot, which is what she's claiming, if that's true, then she's even worse than I thought she was. If she herself possesses the power to cure cancer with the touch of her hand, why isn't she touring the country and like doing just that? Why has she never visited a children's hospital and cured all the children? The fact that she has this power but instead chooses to spend her time angling for the spotlight on Capitol Hill just means that she's a negligent narcissist. Indeed, she's arguably criminally culpable for the death of every single person who perishes from cancer. I mean, she could easily cure them all, and yet she chooses not to. This woman's evil, which again raises the question of why God chose to give her this power, so it's a good thing that it's all nonsense. He did not give her this power. In fact, any human being walking the earth today who claims to have the power to heal people instantly with the touch of a hand is a wicked, evil scam artist in league with Satan. Okay? God does heal people. Miraculous events do occur. We can pray for them. We should pray for them. But that is not how it works. Okay, and she's far from the only person who's claimed to have this kind of power. We know that. But if you want to know, like, which ones you can trust and which ones you can't, if somebody says, "Oh, you're suffering affliction, I will pray for you," that's someone you can trust. That's someone who has your best intentions in mind. If somebody says, "Come here, I'm going to put my hand on you and cure you on the spot," that is a charlatan. That is a con artist. That's a scam artist every time. Third, finally, even putting all this aside, we know for damn sure that these corporate media journalists don't believe in miraculous events, least of all faith healings. And yet, here is this supposedly serious journalist asking a politician about her supernatural powers and expressing no skepticism. Watch how she follows up. Watch this.
What do you say to people who are likely to disbelieve that story?
You know, they're not the woman that had the tumors.
That was it. That was the only follow-up. And by the way, you're right, Cori, true enough. I don't believe you, and I'm not the woman who had the tumors. Speaking of which, since you bring it up, can we hear from the woman who had the tumors? Like somewhere walking the earth today is a woman who was supernaturally healed on the spot by somebody who is now an elected official in Congress. Why hasn't that woman come forward? Why isn't she campaigning for you? I mean, it's the least she could do. You made her tumors disappear, and she can't even show up to a campaign rally? I mean, talk about ungrateful. What an ungrateful brat this person is. Unless the woman doesn't exist, which would be a valid excuse for not showing up. These are follow-ups that the journalist, Margaret Hoover, who's there in the interview, these are follow-ups that she could have used. She could have asked these questions. Any follow-up at all would have been nice. Instead, we get the whole, what do you say to the people who don't believe you thing? And that's it. Can you imagine if Lauren Boebert or Marjorie Taylor Greene claimed to have faith healing powers? Okay, can you imagine if Marjorie Taylor Greene said that she cured cancer? Can you imagine the response by the media? The manic, hysterical screeching about misinformation? The fact checks? Snopes would have a field day. It would be the greatest day for people working at Snopes. It would be the greatest day of their lives. This would be like Christmas and New Year's and all wrapped up into one times 100. That they would get to debunk something like that coming from Marjorie Taylor Greene. They would love it. It would be the greatest thing that ever happened to them. But what does Snopes have to say about a black Democrat woman who said that she discovered the cure for cancer but has only given it to one random woman? Nothing at all. They say nothing. Not a thing. Look, I don't blame Cori Bush for making up these stories. She's a pathological liar. Lying pathologically is what pathological liars do. Besides, if you have no moral compass and you know that you can make up anything, you can get away with making up anything at all, why not claim that you can cure cancer? I mean, you might as well have fun with your superhuman ability to lie without consequence. Maybe next Cori Bush can tell us that she invented time travel. Maybe she'll claim that she traveled to the center of the earth through a volcano and found a T-Rex, Santa Claus, and Elvis living down there. Why not? You have no integrity. The media that's supposed to hold you accountable has no integrity, and they'll just amplify anything you say. Might as well just go to town. And that is why the people letting Cori Bush get away with telling whatever lies she feels like, along with Cori Bush herself, are all today canceled. Thanks for checking out this video. If you'd like to listen to my full podcast on the go, you can check out The Matt Walsh Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.